Nice lesson. Yesterday we talked about HTML, which are used for carrier content. Yeah. And today we are going to take a look at the CSS. Today CSS is basic. We have 2 days on CSS. Now let's take a look at the lecture. I just made a little bit of change. Okay, if you downloaded the lectures earlier before this morning, you download this again. Okay, I just made a little bit change. And every day, if I have a class demos written, then you will find here. It's gonna be a zip. And all the demos here are the original one from the slides. Okay, and this one is a class one. And this is a lab solution if you want to take a look at. But we will go over lab solution when it's a time to go over. Let me use this one. The basic of CSS give different visual styles to HTML elements. Even though the browser will give a default one, but we want to change their preset default appearance, which a browser give, because the browser given one is not probably not as good as we want. So CSS was a natural evolution to HTML to enhance the flexibility and the sophistication of HTML for the specialized function of visual styling. Later on, the next slides will take a look at why we say it's a natural evolution to HTML, okay? Because in HTML, we do have some tags which can do style, but are not good. Natural involves by creating encapsulated subsystems to handle specified functionality. That's why nowadays the microservices are very popular architecture, right? Because we have different services for different functionalities. Okay. The bad way that suppose we want to produce styles before CSS come out. In HTML they do have some tags which can do style, like a strong, em, and u, font. Those when we have font, you can specify for the font like a family. We'll talk about what kind of font family we will do. Okay, and when we have strong, you're gonna have kind of in like a Word document, you have a B, right? Bold. That's a strong. And suppose we want to have a em, which is like a tilted. And then if we have u, which means you have an underscore here. Can you see, guys, here? But this is not a good way to do the styling, because we are mixing the content with the presentation. Okay, not good. And we do have another 2 ways to do the style. The first one is called the embedding style sheets. This one is in HTML. This is HTML head. Okay, normally we put it here. Actually, you can put it anywhere. And we can have a style tag. In style, you can put the you can put the CSS, CSS selectors, and what kind of styles you want. This is one way. We'll explain what are they one by one. Okay, here we're just talking about the place to put your styles. This one is not good. The other one is inline style. For every HTML tags, it do have an attribute called the style. This is attribute. And from style, you can give the properties and the values and to give a style for this paragraph. See this one? For the paragraph style, I have font family, sans serif. I will talk about this one. Okay, I have color red. But all of them, the 2 ways here, and this way is extremely bad. Okay, and these 2 ways you will see it's gonna be used. But if we start, if you write a project from scratch, we don't like you use them. The reason is because here, content and presentation. We think HTML is for the content, and which is what kind of information you want to display on the page. And we use the CSS for the presentation, which is the look and feel and how to display in the page. But with these two, with this way, like extremely bad, and these 2 ways, we are mix the styles with our content. Okay. And here have one benefit. Okay, if HTML contains no styles, its entire appearance can be changed by swapping the CSS files. But if we do that this way, our CSS is inside HTML. And if we do this way, our CSS is inside HTML, then we cannot just swapping the CSS to see our website is completely different. Here have very wonderful example. This one called the CSS Zen Garden. This is a website. When we get in, we will see, oh, this is one website, right? And you will see those content. But then you click another one. Can you see? You will think the style is totally different and probably think this is another website, right? Actually, the content is exactly same. What they do, they just, when you click, they just swap the, what's that? See, the beauty of CSS, Zen Garden, the content, the HTML is exactly same. The only change is by swapping the CSS, okay? But don't get confused, go to other React course, okay? Because this course, our goal is to do the separation of concerns, which our CSS, our content presentation, and later on when we have behavior are separated. But when we do go to React course, their idea, the React program, the idea is all in CSS. All in JS. So your CSS is gonna be in the JS code, your JavaScript is gonna be in the JS code, and your HTML gonna be in JS code. Okay, but the idea for this course is we separate everything. Okay, content, presentation, and later on after we talk about JavaScript, we all separate. The better way to have your CSS linked to our website, how to do it? Inside the HTML, we have a link here. Okay, this one, normally we put it inside the head, and in the link, we had CSS files, and that's the website that we show you. You will see the number 217, let's swap the CSS, just swap this file here, and the type is a text and a CSS. This one is to describe the type of style.css here, the file, okay? And the REL is talking about the relationship of the current CSS, this is CSS with the current file, which is HTML, because the CSS is a style sheet. Just these two are fixed value, and this one you change to be your relative URL, okay? And CSS describe appearance and the layout of information on the page, and this one is duplicated. Like HTML, it describes the content of the page, and the preferred way is we place the CSS or the CSS in a separate file and the link here. When you have question, raise your hand. Okay. Now let's take a look at the basic CSS syntax. In a CSS file, you can have more than one or more or 0 to more rules. Okay, you can have an empty CSS file linked, don't have any rules there, but you can have more. Rule specify HTML elements and apply styles properties. Okay, we'll take a look at. You probably sometimes you can see use this one. This asterisk, like a regular expression means different from regular expression. Okay, this one when you write GitHub, when you use Git, you're gonna have a .git ignore, right? Then you can use like asterisk, which means ignore everything. Okay, this one is kind of like similar, like we select all the elements. Suppose you have a feature which you're gonna apply some features to all the elements, you can use this one. And to do a comment in CSS, we use the multi-line, kind of like a Java's multi-line. Do you remember HTML? Let's review. This is a comment to do in HTML, okay, different. Now let's take a look at what we'll combine a rule. First, you have a selector, okay, and we will talk about many selectors. The first one you see here is called the HTML element selector, because this is HTML tag, right? Well, you can have paragraph, div, table, TRTD, list. Okay, this is called the HTML selector or HTML element selector. And inside this brace, we can do a test. Okay, I think the brace is a must. Okay, it should be masked. Okay, because I never do without a brush. Okay, we can do this. This brush is masked, and between these two brushes, then you can have many property and a value key value pair. These properties will cover many, like here you see one is called font family, okay, and this one is for color. We will talk about all of them later. And separated with a column, and then you give a value. You do need to have a semicolon to separate different property value pairs. I remember last one is not necessary. We can do a test later. But normally what I do is for every key value pair, I will add the semicolon, even though it's the last one. Okay. Now let's take a look at examples one by one. First one is suppose we want to specify properties for the colors. We have two kinds of color. One is the text color. The other one is a background color. But to specify for the text color, you just use a color. Some students, when we are new, they will say, do you have a font color? There's no font color or text color. It's just a color we specify for the text. Okay. Then we will have a background color, which is specified for background. Let me show you the example from scratch. Here, this is my one. I will have a color.html. Then what you do is here you have a CSS. Suppose I call index.css. Okay. And here, after you do, you can have a more 0 or more rules there. And for our HTML, then inside the head you have a link, href. Then here we specify the relative URL, and we can directly do index.css, or you can use // to do. Don't directly add a slash, okay, because it's gonna be a root. Then we will have type, okay, it's a text CSS, and I have rel, which is a style sheet. Yesterday, when we do like this way, we're gonna have error, like a warning in the validator, right? Okay, I will show you. Okay, it's optional, but the validator just consider this one kind of like an error. I will show you specification later. Okay, because specification say it's optional, and which for foreigner. Let me show you now. I had a link here. So for this is specification, and say if the element is the void element, this is called a void element or called the empty element. Okay. Well, what's the thing? This one for it's a foreign element. Foreign element, which is the element you defined. Like when we go to React, you're gonna define your own element. You can consider that's a foreign element, and there may be a single this thing. Okay. And on foreign elements, it's you must have that one. But for the default, which is for reserved, which is HTML provided, it's optional. What did I say? Anyway, so here. Maybe, right? Maybe a single this character. So it's in the specification. It shouldn't be wrong, but the validator will have a warning there. You can ignore, or you can just mark remove. Okay. That's the link. Then how to apply the font, right? This is a paragraph. Okay. And then the first one is we have a paragraph. Because this P gonna be, when we put it here, it will select for every paragraph on the page. Okay, suppose we have a 2P paragraph second. Okay, let's have some duplicated here. 3. So when we give P, that means all the paragraph on the page. Okay, and here, if we want to specify color, you just add a color. Okay, first we use red, and then we will talk about what kind of values we'll put it here later. Okay, background color we'll give a blue, and then we go run it. You will see all the paragraph have a same style, right? Okay, now let me do a little bit test. Okay, suppose we don't put this one, should be fine, but I'm not sure about the validator. Okay, still works. Okay, but if we do 2, you're gonna have error. Do you see? So I recommend just to do a semicolon for everyone. I don't think it's gonna be wrong. Okay, you must have a brace. Okay. This is this one. I'll go here. Color. Now, just now when we specify color, I just put a color here, right? But they do have lots of colors in a real project. Probably you won't directly use red, pink, blue, those text, okay? What we do is, how to specify colors? You have 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to do. And the first one is the color names. When we do a study, you're gonna use the color names. But in a real project, like my previous company, what they do is we have another company do the design. You know, we hire them do the design, and when they come back, they will give us some documentations, and all their color we use is a hex color. But you do see some other company will use RGB or HUSL, those colors. But I'm not very good at how they are doing. Okay, I can just show you what are they. Okay, so people are artists here probably familiar. Red, green, blue, those three colors can make all the colors, right? When you mix them, okay? So the first one is using RGB, which is red, green, and blue, okay? And you specify the values for each of red, green, and blue, okay? So each one of them is from 0 to 255, which is 28, this one. Okay, and then let's see here, RGB 128, 0, and this one. You will get one color, but I don't know what is this color. We will take a look at it later, okay? And we do have this one called alpha. Alpha is talking about the transparency of current color, okay? And the value is from 0 to 1. So here, this is kind of a half transparent, okay? You can also later on, if you don't specify the alpha here, there is another property called the opacity. It can also specify for the alpha if you want, okay? And the next one is a hex color. This one, hex, and this is also RGB color, but it's based on the numbers, like from 00 to FF, because hex is 16, right? And 0 to 9 is only 10, right? So it will still continue to A to F, you understand me? So total is hex, which is 16, okay? And you will see 2 ways. The first way is like all 6 digit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The other one, sometimes you will see 3 digit. What's the difference? When we have 6, this is for hex, okay? You can see A, 2, 1, B, 4, and F, okay? All the digits can be different. But if you have this example, like what example we have? FF 8800. This one is for our red, green, and blue. You can see for the red, 2 are FF, right? So you can use the shorthand, like 1F represent FF, and 18 represent 88, 10 represent 00. So depend. But for this kind of value, you cannot use 3 digit. You must use 6. Okay. And next one is the HSL, which stands for hue, saturation, lightness. Sorry, I actually don't know how they are formed, the color, okay? But it's based on this, circle, this thing, okay? And hue is a degree on the color wheel. This is the color wheel, and from 0 to this one, okay? 0 is red. 0 or 360 is red, then 120 is green, like 240. Then you can specify which one. Okay? And then take a look at it. This is HSL, and the last one is alpha, which is same as RGBA, that one, which is the transparency. And you give the 3 values here. Okay, we just take a look at the alpha.
The hex have alpha.
Hex doesn't have alpha. They just have a digit. If you want to specify alpha, you're using opacity, the one. Okay, manually specify had another. Let's take a look at this one. So here, let's using RGB. Okay, red 128. I don't know the color. Okay, let's take a look at this color. Seems no difference. Let's let's give let's drag some. Okay, let's drag this one. Like it's gonna become green. Okay. Yeah. Oh, I didn't save. Let's do auto save. Okay. You will see it's green, right? So you change it. Okay. Let me remove background and take a look at 0.5. Can you see it's kind of like a transparent? You see, 0 disappeared, and 1 is like a 100%. Okay, then you can specify for the alpha, the last one. Okay, 0 to 1. Okay, and let's take a look at another. Let's have a div here. Let's suppose we have a div. This is a div, and we can have another div. Okay, color. Let's do like a hex. Okay. Remember, you can use lowercase. No need to use capital. Okay, if I'm okay. It's yellow. Can I see here? This is orange. Orange. Okay. Capital or lowercase doesn't matter. Okay. Let's do last one. We have a span. Let's have a span here. This is a span. And all the selector I'm doing here is what? All the selector I'm doing here is HTML tag selector. Let me just copy this one. Okay. HSA, and this is transparency. You can take a look here. Okay. In the real project, you want the color will give it to you. You just use them. Okay. Well, I'm not a designer, so I didn't go deep on how the color is formed. Okay. But if you're interested, you can take a look at. Any question? Okay. Now let's take a look at for the fonts. Font family. We'll take a look at all of them. Okay. First one is font family. We do have one example here. CSS properties for the fonts. Font family. It will specify which font you want. Okay. And we do have some. First, let me explain the generic ones. Here, all of them, those are the generic ones. We already introduced one yesterday. The generic one are serif, sans serif, cursive, fantasy, monospace. Anyone who knows French here? French, the language French. No. Okay. First, serif. Like not most of the books, when we buy the books, right? The books, when you read, you will find out the current letters gonna be looked at this. You see? If you look at clearly, and most of the time gonna use the Times New Roman. And this part, this edge is called this it has an edge here, right? This is serif. Okay, the generic. Okay, serif. What is sans serif? Based on the book I introduced to you guys yesterday. In French, sans means without. That's French. That's what I say. I don't know French. Okay, I just read the book. The book say sans is a part of the French. Okay, this sans means without. Without the edge, which means sans serif. The T gonna be look like this. The one you use pretty often is called Arial, which is a Word document. The Arial is the sans serif. Cursive, you know cursive, right? Cursive, like cursive. Okay. Just now I see one cursive. This one is cursive. Okay, this one like like those kind you can consider cursive. Okay, and fantasy. Fantasy, do you do some words like wrote like this way, like this, like sound like something like that? That's a fantasy, which is fancy. Okay, we can show some demo like monospace. I explained to you guys yesterday. For all the English letters, they will guarantee that they're gonna have exactly the same fixed width. Okay, like I, L. Okay, we'll make sure the width for them are exactly same as some like a W, M, those words. Okay, monospace. And those are the generic ones. They do have the fonts categorized in different generic ones, like Times New Roman is here, and sans serif Arial, like here. Suppose now I use Times New Roman. When we increase, you will see it has edge, right? Like Arial, if I switch to Arial, when this could be the Arial because it doesn't have edge. Okay, this is one I use when I do the Arial. It doesn't have edge. And the last one I will show you is the one I use for the code. Suppose I make an exam, I will have some code, right? What I do, I use this one, Courier New, paragraph. Can you see the difference? Okay, like a page. That's what I use. You can see the I is the same as wide as S and P. Okay. So here, Georgia is one of how to specify the font. We use a font family, and you give a font you want. Okay, and here, this one. Why we have a quotes here? The reason is for this font, it has multiple words there. So we recommend that you have a quotes. I tested a long time ago, which previously in Chrome, when we don't have a quotes, it will have error. But nowadays it's no. I tested a long time ago. Let's do a test, okay? And if you have multiple fonts specified, we use a comma to separate them. And the general guideline is what? The first one is the font you really want to display to the user. And you have a second one, which is going to become what? The second one is most of the browser or operating system going to install this one, most of them. But probably not all of them will install the one you really want. And but this one is very close to the one you like. We recommend you have a generic one at the last, because if the operating system or browser cannot find this one, it do have a default one in each category guaranteed in every browser and operating system. Okay, so if you cannot get this one, it will choose one. Okay, now let's take a look at the font family here. I will not use this one. Let's just add on the paragraph. You can have the font. We can have a font family. Let me do another one because this one is the color. Let's add another font.html. I will add a div. Okay, this is a div. Let's do another one. Okay, you can also add a style here, then have a div. Put it here. You know what I mean? Not a good, but you can do it. Okay. Then we can have a font family, and here it has so many. Okay, so you can have a Courier New. Here use a single quote. Let me use double quotes. Single quote should be work. We can later on we can remove the quotes. Okay. You can see the font family is being changed, right? Okay, and let me remove the quotes to see if it works. Okay. Still works. And let me check if it have values errors. But when I read the documentation, they recommended you have a quotes there because it has a double. it has multiple words separated with white space. Okay, it's better you quote them. Let me add a single quote. I didn't see single quote before. Let me directly add a single quote without this part. Okay. Now, it's working. Okay. Single, double, all works. Okay. My personal experience suggestion is I use all double quotes for HTML and CSS. And when we write a JavaScript, I use a single quote for most of the time. But it doesn't have any errors, so it's fine. Okay. Which means here, key value pair, right? For HTML, here we always use double quotes. Okay, and for CSS, I always use double quotes. And for JavaScript, we'll talk about later. We can use single quote for most of the time. We'll see that one later. That's the font family. No need to remember. Okay. When you go to a job, they will give you the font family for you. Just copy paste there. Okay. Any question here? Okay. If not, we go to next one. Okay. Font size, font weight, and font style. Font size will specify how large the letters will be drawn, and we will talk about this part later, okay? What's the values can put it here. And the font weight, we'll talk about the bold or not bold about the font. And the font style, we'll talk about italic or not italic, okay? Let's take a look at which is same as the EM, and this one is same as the strong, okay? Okay, we have this one. Let's have a font size. Okay, suppose we go to 29 pixel. We'll talk about these things later, okay? And the font style, which is italic, and then we have a font weight, which is bold. We can. You see, and you can see here when we open the inspect and you can see this is my style, right? You can say, well, don't have font weight, it's gonna remove for you, and don't have italic, it's gonna do like this way, and if I don't have font size, it's gonna do like this way. Okay, you can. That's how we debug. Suppose you have, for some CSS. That's what we do. I do here. Okay, I just change and to see it match my requirement. Okay, this is the 3. Now let's take a look at this part, size unit. What kind of values can I put it here? It has so many. I just list some of them here. Okay, it has many. If we go to W3C school here, not this one. Okay. This is the example. Okay, you can take a look at W3C school. Font. Okay. Font size. Okay, I'll find it for you later because this is one is not the one I was taking a look at. Okay, we'll just learn those. Okay, they all have others. First one is pixel, point, and M size, VM, VH. Size unit is categorized in 2. One is called absolute, one is called relative. Absolute, you are relative, absolute. And for the pixel and point, they are absolute, okay? And for EM, VH, VM, they are relative. Let's take a look at about pixel. Pixel will specify a number of pixels on the screen. It do have a relative part on the pixel because if we are using a laptop, right, 1 pixel you can think as a 1 dot on your screen. But if we use some high resolution device like a printer, 1 pixel probably will have multiple dots on the printer. Okay, so but there we do think a pixel is absolute size unit. Okay. And the point specify number of points, where a point is of an inch on the screen. Okay, if you want, you can test. And REM, VH, VW, VH, they are all relative. EM is relative to your current font. size. Suppose I use a 2EM, it's gonna be 2 times the size of the current font, the size, okay? VH and VM, they are all related to your viewport, which is how wide, how high, how tall is your browser, okay? Like suppose your viewport is 50 centimeters, then 1 VW is gonna become 0.5 centimeters, okay? Now let's take a look at, just do a very basic demo, okay? We can have a span here to do something different. This is a span. And we have a span added here. And we just do font size, okay? Let's do 16 pixel. Let's add another one, which, what do we have? A paragraph. I want to see the difference. The paragraph have a default style. I have a font size. We will do 16 font. Okay, font. Let's take a look at this one. Don't see lots of difference, but let's increase this one. 21 point, kind of like a similar. Seems point is a little bit greater than this one, right? Mm-hmm. Because pixel is 1 dot, this one is 172, the screen, okay? Now let's take a look at the EM, okay? I'll do an EM, okay? Just change this one to be EM, 2 EM. By default, the browser will give a font. By default, it's gonna have a font size, right? For all the elements you on the page. Let's see. Let me. So this is without EM, and when I do, let me see if I can have the size of the display. Wait. Oh, see here. Oh, it has already has, but I want to show you the default one, but I didn't see here default. Anyway, we can take a look at it later. Okay, the paragraph gonna have a default one. Okay, it's set by the browser. Okay, and 2EM gonna have 2 times of the default. The one, and if you have one, then it will based on what you set. Okay, and then last one. Oh, last one. Let's use H1 title. Then we will have H1, which have a font size, which is 20 V. W means width, H means height. Okay. For this one, we can do, when you use VM, VH, normally you want to do a responsive design, okay? So, too much, too big. Okay. Now I will shrink the browser, okay? Oh, this is the title, right? Can I see? And you can see this size, are they changed? No. This one, no changed, right? You can see. The title is being changed. You got it? Okay. And the same for the VH. Okay. Just choose when you need. Okay. There are also another one. Like you can also use the fixed letters to specify the font size, like a small, medium, large, and you will not see it's being used in your project. Because we have so many different browsers, and each different browsers, they will give different values. Probably they will give different values for those words. For suppose browser Chrome, they will give small is 16 pixel. Probably we go to Microsoft Edge, it will give 20 pixel. You understand me? So normally we won't use them, okay, for the font size. We do in my previous company, we use this one, and this one the most, okay, and the others we don't use that quite much. Any question? Yes.
She said there are two different two different types, right? PH and PT are absolute value, and EM, VWPH are relative value.
Yeah.
So does that have any relationship between display property? When we use display relative, we have to use EM, VWPH. When we use display absolute, we can only use PH or PT. Yes.
Does display that the property has a relative absolute?
Yeah.
I don't. Oh, that one is for display property. I use position. That's not display relative display absolute, right? No, it's not. It's position is not related to the fonts. Okay, that's a good question. I have to tell. You are talking about display the relative this one, right?
Yes.
What I know is position. I'm not. I didn't confirm about the display relative display. That one. We can talk about it. I can do a search later because I'm not sure display has a relative, display has absolute. But I do know position has. Okay, position is not related to this the font size, so no worries. And we will talk about position tomorrow.
EM is not relative to the screen size, right? Then it's going to be sort of a static.
Yeah, based on its current font. Suppose, let me. We can do a.
The relative, the meaning of relative compared to VHE, W and EM is
different.
different.
See here, EM is relative to the size of the current font. So each of the element is gonna have a font, either set by either inherited from parent. We'll talk about inheritance later, okay? Or either it's set by the browser. So EM is relative to its own font, but VW is related to the browser viewport. Okay, so they are different. But they are all categorized into the relative part because it's not a kind of a fixed value. Okay. Now next one, let's take a look at for the text. Sorry, I forgot one thing. Suppose we have a requirement, want to set for font family, font size, font style, font weight, right? You can use a shorthand called a font to set for all the properties. I forgot to do that. Okay, so suppose for this one, you can use one like called a font. Use shorthand. Okay, and for the font, which two are? For the font size and font family are required. And if you don't provide one of them, then it's gonna give you the default one, okay? And the font family should be at the last. You cannot put it in the front because, let me show you, okay? Let's see, take a look at this deep. Can you see, do I have the size changed? See here, I have a 29, if I specify 100, it should be larger, right? It should be large, it didn't change, right? Now see here. The reason is the font family need to put at the end. Okay. Can you see a difference? Font family put it at the end because when we specify font family, sometimes we have multiple, like a Courier New and a Courier and monospace. Okay, when we have multiple, we have to have a comma, right? And if we have comma and then we put a 100 here, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, that's why font family we usually put at the end. Suppose I want to put a font size and the italic and the bold, we just do like this way. For all others, they are separated by the space. Okay. And remember, between the number and the size unit, don't put a space between them. There's no space between them. Did I do something wrong? Which one? Let's see. Something must be. Let me take a look at it. Monospace or something. No, okay. Let me see. Okay. Should the y have arrow? Oh, or should I put it front? This one also have the. Oh, this one. Hey, we cannot separate them. Take a look at here. This is a rule I forgot. Okay. It doesn't work, right? We have to put all others before the font size and the font family. Sorry, guys, this part. So, okay. You can use a shortcut to specify for all the fonts. Now let's take a look at next one. Text. Text also have lots of them. I will just show you some of them, like a text align, which you're gonna align the text in within this element, like a center, left, right. But for the div, we will see later. You cannot center a div, use text align. Okay, we'll take a look at it later. Text decoration, if you want to have the U, like underline, line through, overline those. And text indent, which is sometimes like when in Chinese, no, you will see indentation, like here we have indentation, right? You can use text indent to. You can have a line height, which is vertical size of each line. You can have letter spacing, the horizontal gap between letters. You can have word spacing, which is horizontal gap between the words. You can have text overflow, text shadow, like how long to handle the two. This one properly you see already. If you have a title, the title is very long. You see 3 dots at the end, or some description. A text shadow, you can have a drop shadow next to a text. We'll see example one by one. Okay.
These ones don't have VH and VW.
No, the things. This one has. This one you can use. Nice background. Which one?
Yeah, that one exactly.
You can.
There's no VH, VW.
You can, all of them you can. You just specify some of them. Whenever you can put a size unit, you can use all the size unit as you want. Okay. Just I didn't list it here. Let's have a text. I just use inline style, okay? Inline one because it's easy to show in one screen. Okay. A div. This is a div. The reason I use div and span a lot of times is because div and span doesn't have a default style provided by the browser. And the first one, we'll take a look at the text decoration. You can have an underline, you can have a overline, and when we do, you will have 2 lines there. You can have underline, you have an overline. Okay, that's this one.
So if div and span don't have default whatever, that means you can't use EM on them.
No, you can. Browser will give a default one which you inherit from body. Browser will have a font style for the font size for the body. Div will also carry the same font size.
Unless you're giving for the text, not for the...
We'll see, okay. We'll see the inheritance later. Body will have, okay. Let's take a look at this shadow. And then the shadow, the first one is X offset. The second one is Y offset. And here you can give a color. You can use RGB, you can use a hex, anyone you like, okay. Text, shadow, and 2 pixel, 5 pixel. And let's use the same as this one, great. Now we go there. Can you see here have a drop down text? You have a shadow, gray shadow. Do you see that one? And if I use a negative value for the X, it's gonna go to the left. Okay, see here. This is a positive. See, do you see negative? And this is a positive value. It's gonna go to this side. And if the positive value for the Y offset, it's gonna be down. This is down. See here, and this is up. Minus, okay. And the last one is the color if you want to specify. I don't have experience use this one. Okay, my previous company didn't use this one. Okay, this shadow. And let's take a look at text align, line height, word spacing, and text indent. Okay, first let me copy some large text. Okay, I will have a paragraph here. When we display on the page, you will see probably several lines, but you won't see a line break, right? This is several lines, right? But all the space is collapsed into one, right? Okay, and also you can see, do I have indent here? No, right? Now, if we want to do indent, you can use text indent, okay? Text indent, and let's take a look at it here. But for this one, I probably can show you the text line. Oh, probably you can see. You can specify, you can take a look at it, all others, okay? This is CHC, centimeters, EM, all of them. And that's why I say it has so many, like we can say 12 pixel. Just, you will see it has indentation, right? Let's take a look at text align. Take a look at this small, okay? And this is in the example. Let's take a look at text align. Enter. I see here, this small originally is where? On the left, right? Now it's in the center. Text align will only align the text inside the paragraph to be center, but the paragraph itself is not the centered. What I means, take a look at it here. Can you see this div is centered, right? But when I have on the div, it still occupies the entire width. You got me? So text align, it cannot center a div, which is entire div. Oh, let me show you what I mean. Okay, I will add one border here. Okay. Without text align of the div, you will see here. This is my div, right? You can see the border red. Okay. When I say text align center, is the div being centered? No, it's a text in the div being centered. But you can see the div is entire, still entire from left to right, right? So text align cannot send the block element. It can only center the inline elements. Okay, we will see more tomorrow. Okay, this one text align. Okay, and others, what others? Line height and word spacing. Okay, let's add a word space. I don't like the text align here. Add a word spacing 90 pixel. You can see a word spacing. Okay, this is word. Each word have a space, right? And we also have a line height, right? Line height. Let's add 20 pixel. I see it between each of the line, it has a height. Let us see here. Line height. If I increase, can you see? Okay, that's a line height. Do as you use as you need. Okay. Very expressive. Okay. If no question, we are finished background. After background, we will take a break. Okay. Now let's take a look at the background. Background has so many. It has like a background color, background image, precision, repeat, attachment, background size. Most of the, most of them from like a size, attachment, repeat, position, image, they are related to if you have a image as a background. And this one is simplest, and you do have a shorthand background to specify all of them. Okay, let's take a look at this demo here because we have let me download. Okay, the one I use. Let me download this one. Which is this one. Let me just display this one. This is the image. Why this one works? This one doesn't work. Oh, doesn't work anymore. Sorry. This is an image I found a long time ago. It was a star image. If not working, let's find us. Now, why? That's the reason here doesn't have a star. Okay. This is a cute stuff. Let's use this one. Save image as. I don't know this extension. This one. Now let me take a look at. Okay. P. Just have some words there. Okay. Let me see what's going to happen when I display. Just like this. Got it. Nothing meaningful. Okay. Then I will have. Let me have a background image URL. Let me see if this one is an image. Okay. Style. We have. I just add a style here. Okay. What's the paragraph? Background image URL. I remember how to add the quotes. Yes, we have to add the quotes here. Now let's go to the demo. See? Do I need to have quotes? Why doesn't it show? Probably not recognize the picture. I'm not sure if it's because of not recognize. It should at least should show one by default. Let me download another one. Okay, see if it's because of image problem. Start. Oh, this is PNG. Background. Oh, can I see here? Have image here? Can I see? I think that that one, the file extension doesn't recognize. Okay, but you can see here has image, right? Yeah, but this one is too big. Okay, we can do something. Okay. Oh, can I see? We have background, right? By default, can you see this on the horizontal? It's being repeated, repeat X. This is caused by this one. And the background repeat, it was how big, how background image should be repeated, can be repeat, which is default. Default is gonna be repeated X and horizontally and vertically, okay? If I only specify background repeat, if I specify repeat X only, let's go to the browser. See, it doesn't repeat here anymore. It only repeat horizontally. And if you want to repeat Y, just repeat Y. We only repeat vertically. And if you use non-repeat, it means none. Did I have specify correct? Oh, non-repeat, sorry, not a none. Only have one there. Okay, this is background repeat. It depends how you want. You also can specify background position. By default, it's gonna start from the the very beginning, like the corner, top right, top left corner, okay? Then you can specify the position, like a placement or background within the element. Value consists of 2 tokens, 1 and 2, okay? Can be top, left, right, bottom, center, a percentage or length or pixel point and others, which is size unit. Let's just add 1. Run the position, 370 pixel, 20 pixel, okay? It be moved, and here this is moved horizontal 370, and this part is moved vertically down, okay? This is how you specify background image, okay? So not every time you see an image on the page, it's gonna be using image tag. It may use the background to specify image. It used quite a lot, but there's one problem with the background image. When you do print, right? Background image cannot carry to the print. When you print, suppose I want to print the page, okay? Background image cannot be printed, but if you use image tag, it's gonna be printed. Okay? It do have other things you can take a look at it by yourself, which is use image tag or use background image. Okay? So that's it for the background image. Others you can do some test by yourself. Okay, and let's take a 10 minutes break.
For the heading, we have H1, H2, H3. Do we have also that for paragraph, like P1, P2?
Oh no, we don't have paragraph. Only have paragraph.
Okay, so you can't even in the CSS you can't create our own kind of paragraph.
You can style anything to be a paragraph. Just the paragraph by default, it will have a margin on top and bottom. What do you mean?
I mean, for example, if you have different text and you want, they're both paragraphs, but you want to make the colors different in the different text.
Yeah, you can. You can have later on we will learn how to style them. We can all use a paragraph, and we can use ID. We can use class to give a special style for different paragraph. Okay. So far we only learn HTML, so it's only has HTML. P because it was specified for all, right? Later on we will learn. We'll get to that. Okay, that's a good question. Yeah.
Yesterday evening I added these forms.
Yes.
My Thaka is not updated.
Oh, sure. Let me add for you. Okay. First, let me check you are on the system. Okay.
Okay.
Let me check the system. I think you should be there. What's your name?
MD Moinul Islam. Moinul. Yeah, this one. 615869. Yes,
This one? Oh, that's you?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You were here. Let me change your yesterday. Because yesterday the one student say you are the
Yeah, I am notified lately.
yeah, yesterday.
Yesterday whole day I did the software engineering courses.
Oh, you were added in the afternoon.
Yeah, I added in the afternoon.
Okay, because yesterday I mark as absent. That's you, right?
Yeah.
I will make this one to be present. Okay. Because the one student told me you transfer to another course. It's actually
from another course.
Yeah, I got it. So you should be. Let me add you here. Later on, after the course finish in the afternoon, I will introduce the first lecture with you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry, the first lecture is fine if you miss. It's easy. Okay. Yo, they here. Okay, what's your email?
MD Moinul Islam. MD. Should I put email address?
Yes, email address.
MD MOY
MOY
NUL N UL L dot Islam ISLAM.
Okay, this one?
Yes, this one.
MDMOUN
MOY NUL.
This one? MDMO.
It's correct.
Oh, correct. Okay. At miu.edu, right? Yes. Okay. This one, okay?
Yes.
Continue. I'll send the email. Finish. Now you are here.
Oh, thank
Okay.
you, boss.
Are you in Teams?
Yeah, I already added.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
You are welcome. I will add. I will ask the guy to.
Yeah, does it on a basis understand? You can have so what you want to ask? Not feeling sleepy. Not getting question from the sciences. Yeah.
Have a look at the. When I get the page,
Yeah, description or anything.
You have any
Front-end, there are a lot of
previous?
I know HTML and CSS are pretty good.
Have you seen from previous?
I don't have any preference.
So you don't know what the you don't know what the project done, so what the project is about.
not going to programming.
This block project, you have to do after we introduce the
What type of project it is going to be?
full stack.
Full stack.
You have back end, you have front end, and you have two projects. One is for the back end, one is for front. So you have two. So kind of like you have two servers,
Okay.
and your front will talk with the back end, use RESTful API.
So shall we be doing HTML and CSS?
Yeah, and it's very simple. Very simple. Just one page. Okay, don't worry. You can finish it in one day. Yes.
So usually, when we design front end,
You.
front end developers need some sort of artistic things.
Yes, yes. We just do very simple. Yeah, very simple. You can use some Bootstrap. Those very simple. We don't do difficult like layout, like fancy. Just one page. I have two, but I'm thinking which one you will pick. Okay, I will decide later. But both of them are easy. Okay, just the back end have a little bit of logic you need to do. Have some like a log in, log out those features.
So finally, so we have two applications. Finally, both two have to work together, right? Like from the front end, we call some APIs and
Yeah.
going to return some data from the back end.
Yeah, JSON. Oh, time. Let's continue. I should finish this one and take a break. Yesterday we learned about unordered list and ordered list, right? And by default, unordered list is like a kind of like a dot, okay? And ordered list is 1, 2, 3. And if you don't like, you can change use the list style type, okay, to change. We can show one list style 5. And here we can have a UL and have a LI, orange, ORANG, orange, and have apple. I just do 3. Apple and banana. And there's a great plugin which can do those kind of things very fast, but I forgot. Okay, and you have to remember syntax to do. List style type. Okay, this is the default one if I remember correctly. This one default one. Default one. Okay, and then you can change to be number. That's the thing. Decimal. Then it's going to be 1, 2, 3. You can see it's even though it's unordered, right? But it has 1, 2, 3 there. You can also use like a low alphabet. Okay, low alpha. Then it's going to be like a ABC like this. You change it as you want. Okay. Oh, you can also specify to be none. None means none of them, which is used in where when you display the navigation, you are marked as a none. Okay. and we will learn later how to make it horizontally. Okay, we'll learn later tomorrow. Okay, this one, do you remember yesterday I showed you the navigation? It's using UL, right, and LI. The first one you will make it to be none, and then next one is make it to be display horizontally. We will learn tomorrow how to do that. Okay. Main point, we have discussed some of the CS properties for color, font, text, background color, and lists, which are the basic properties used on almost every page. No need to remember any of them, don't worry. Okay, but you have to understand when you see them. Okay, there are a lot of details here, but a few concepts. As long as you know the general concepts, the details will follow with the practice. Highest first, capture the font to control the entire territory. Okay. Next one. Now we will learn more on the CSS. The cascading in CSS indicates there are multiple levels of style sheets. Okay, what are they? More specific styles or write more general ones. We can be more specific by using class selectors, which are a group of elements, and even more with the ID selector, which is individual elements. Life is found in layers. Okay, now let's take a look at. Just now, Jeremiah asked, okay, suppose I have lots of paragraphs here. I want to just have special styles for 2 paragraphs or 3, okay? How to differentiate them? Because so far we only learn HTML element selector. If we use P, you're gonna select it for all of them, right? So how to spell? You can use a class selector or ID selector attribute. Every HTML tag is going to have an attribute called class or ID, okay? ID attribute allows you to give a unique ID to any element on the page, and ID should be unique. If it's not unique, you may have the browser will display correctly, but you're gonna have problems in the future. And also the validator will say it's not unique, okay? Which means only one page, only one can only be used once on the page. And but the class attribute is used for group some elements and give style to only that group. Unlike an ID, class can be reused as much as you like on the page. Now let's take a look at the example. I will write from scratch for you guys, okay? ID class dot add a selector dot HTML, okay? So here, let's use the example which Jeremiah asked. Okay, let me copy some text. Okay, do I have some text? Some text. I want to copy. Yo. Okay, let's. Yeah, no. This is a good one. Okay. So here I have 1 paragraph, I have 2 paragraphs, I have 3 paragraphs. Okay, now I have 3 paragraphs, right? So if we directly use, I'll just add a style here. P, suppose I give a color which is red. Now all the text going to have the same red color, right? But I want to have a special. What's the special? You can have what's that? ID select. What's it? ID here. I have ID. All the HTML tags gonna have ID attribute. Then make sure the ID gonna be unique. Okay, this one should be unique, and the name here should carry the name you give here should carry the styles you are gonna do later. Suppose this one gonna be a title. Okay, or you have some other things. Okay, suppose I give this one not called a title, called a special. PECIL. And now how to do the ID selectors? Use hash. Okay, hash and give what's there? Special here. And then all the rules you put here gonna only target to this paragraph. All the other 2 paragraphs won't have. This is too much text. Okay, I just. So here I will have. Let's add a background color which is called the blue. Now You go here, you will only have blue on this one. You got it? That's the ID. Now let's take a look at for class selector. For the class, it's repeated. Sorry, it's for a group. Okay, so class, this one I call warning. Okay, and here I will have class. You can have a warning, and you can have multiple. You can have multiple. Here, let's warning others. Oh, the one called shout here. Right? You can have multiple separated with a thing. Okay. ID, there's no need to have multiple because ID is already unique on this page. There's no need. But I didn't test if you can have multiple. Okay. So here, suppose for the warning, how to use dot. Okay. Dot. The word warning. That's for class selector. Okay. And the warning, let's have a font size, which is let's think 50 pixels. And have a color, which is yellow. How about that one? Normally we use yellow for warning. I think it's bigger, right? You got it, sir? Oh, okay. What's the question?
Why did we write warning shout? Why did we write only warning?
Because this is a two class.
So are we going to use shout?
Yeah,
Separately?
yeah. If you want to have shout, you do like this way. This is one class. This is another class. So this is for warning class styles rules. This is for shout. So shout. Let's have a background color which is pink. This.
So what if they both had
Yeah, let's see.
they also font size of shout? What happens?
Oh, we'll talk about that. That's a good question. Okay, we'll talk about that one later. Okay, the first we will take a look at how to specify for the ID and how to specify for the class. Okay, and for your question, we will have slides for that. Okay, does it make sense? This one warning, this one shout. This one just show you on a class you can have multiple. Okay, but for our example, you can put a background color here. No problem, right?
So in the class, if you do words like warning shout, can we do a lot of words and then make them class?
Can we do another?
Yeah, like let's say word like warning shout, hi, something like that. And then can you call hi and then the same?
How many classes can you have?
Oh, you can have as many as you want. I don't think there's any.
So what is the impact then? Just calling the by warning in shout that let's say we're giving the same background color. So which one has more effect on the?
Oh, I think your question is same as the Jeremiah. Your question is suppose here I have background color here, and here also have background color, right? Which one gonna win, right? That's a great question. We'll take a look at it later, okay? Because we're gonna have demos for conflicts when have, okay? We will have that. That's a great question. Don't worry, we are going there. First, we just know how to specify class and ID selector, okay? Now, class and naming, that's what I already explained. When we give the name for the class ID, it's like you give for the function, like in Java, you define method, right? You define class, right? So you have to give, based on the semantic meaning, you give the names. Suppose you are doing a student, you want to call animal, right? It's not nice, okay? So it's same, okay? So don't suppose you want to, in the class, you give color is red, and then you say it's a red text for the class name. It's not good because later on, if you change, you have to change also the text, right? So don't choose a good name based on the meaning of the content, not the appearance. Next one, combinator. This one has some will call combinator, some will call context selectors. Same thing, okay? Which descendant combinator? What's gonna happen? The space here, I have one selector, I have another selector. Those can be combined between classes. Class can be ID, can be HTML element, okay? So the space combinator selects nodes that are descendant, which child of the first element. This one talking about B target for all the child under this A. Okay, So div span will match all the span elements that are inside a div. Let me finish the two, and I will give example to explain. And see this one difference. This one is what? When you add this bracket, it means a direct child. Direct child, and this one is any child. Doesn't matter it's direct child or not direct child. Okay, I will show you example now. Okay, and we will talk about a conflict later. Context selector.html. Okay, that's the we are heading to the difficult part now. Okay, I have a P. Let me here. I have this is a div. I have a paragraph. A paragraph. This is. You got it, what's thing? Now let's take a look at, this is a child of div, right? And this is also a child of div, right? And this span is a child, direct child of paragraph. And it is also a great child of a div, right? But its direct child is a paragraph. And this span is direct child of div, right? Okay, now I will do styles, okay? So the context selector or combinator is do like that. You have two parts. Okay, I will say span. And here I use space. Okay, and the div and the span all can replace the using what's thing ID selector, class selector. Doesn't matter. I'll show you example later. Okay. So here. Okay, take a look at it here. Can I see here? This is I target where. This one you're talking about. I will target all the span which are children of a div. I mean, doesn't matter it's a direct child or not a direct child. So we'll see B is the color is red, and the span color is red, right? Right. But now I will do this one. Div. Let's use blue. And when we add this one, you will see, does this one has background color? No, only this one have. What's the difference? This one means only the direct child or span, or only target the span which are direct child of div. Now let's take a look at, this span direct child of div? No, it's a direct child of paragraph. And this span direct child of div. So we have the color, background color. Does it make sense now? Okay. Any question? Okay, good. Now let me show you an example of, suppose here I have ID, which is man. Okay. Then you can also, let's have paragraph C. Okay. I'll do like this way. Because it's inside the man. Okay, sorry. Let me do another one. I put a div here, okay? Paragraph C. I'll do is using hash, then I'll say paragraph. I'll say font. Font weight. Let's just the font weight is bold. Okay, like this. This one talking about target one. Find all the paragraph which are belongs to any element, but the ID is man. Any element, okay? You have a paragraph, this one bold, right? But is this one bold? No, because it doesn't have ID. You got this one? You can also specify like this way, like a div, like this. But when we use ID already unique. There's no need to add like a div and others, okay? But if we have example like this way, class, class, what's the class? Special, okay. Let's add this one to be paragraph. Let's add some, what's the, what do we have? Let's have a Q. How about a Q here? Q gonna have a quote, okay? Like this way, okay? Then you can do like this thing. Let me add a span. Because we can do, let me add another one, okay? Okay, so see here, this class I add on paragraph, right? And this class I add where? Div. So you can also do like this one, dot special, and I will say span, okay? And I will have what's the font size? Let's say the font size is 50 pixel. Okay. Now you see this one is 50 pixel, right? And this one is also add. You guys saw? So you can combine. You can put this one like a. You can also do like a div. What's the? You can also this one div, then have a class dot special like this way. Okay, just a combination. Doesn't matter it's HTML or it's a div or it's a ID. Okay. Any questions so far? Remember, this one is direct child. This one is not a direct child. All child. Correct sound. Okay. So far we are good, right? This one already showed you guys. Okay, the demo. Now we are almost to the part to answer you guys the question, Jeremiah and the other one. Okay, body style. To apply a style to entire body of the page, right? Just select to the body. You can have a body, and you can save you for manually apply style to each element. This one talking about suppose this is kind of like a reset. Because the different browser for the default size, default font gonna be different, right? Like for the A or for the paragraph or for a div, probably it's gonna be different. Then you can start from scratch, which is all the text gonna have a 16 pixel, okay? Then you can apply for a body. The other one is you can use asterisk, the one. Now, inheriting style. Style get inherited from its containing elements. Not all properties are inherited, okay? We will see margin tomorrow. What does it mean? Inherit. What does it mean? Let's take a look at it. This is a div. Div, okay, div. I want to do another one, which is I want to do another one here. Span. This is a span, and I will add a span here. Now I'm going to do is to show you inheriting is happened here. Okay, I will do like this way. Div, I have a font size 50 pixels, and let's add a color too. Great. Okay. So here I have a span, right? Here I have another span, right? Span. Let's using one. Let's using this one too. I only add a style on the div, which is this one. I didn't add on any of the span, right? So let's take a look here. But when we have a span, does it have color? This one has color, okay? So, but this one got the color and got the font size, right? But did I add on the span? but it has, which means what? Span is a child of a div, and it inherits the color and the font from the div. That is inherited happened, and this is this sentence. Styles got inherited from containing elements. So in our case, the containing elements of a span is this div, right? And a div, you have a color and font, so I just inherit from you. You got this one? But not all the properties are inherited. Here is called the margin. I will show you one, okay? I will show you, we'll talk about the margin. I just shall show you the behavior, okay? Because it's so large, that's the reason. Let's use 25. You will see so far between between this line and line, between them you have some space, right? Here, this part has some space. Can you see my cursor? Here, I will make it more large. Okay, got me? Then how to do for the span? It's gonna be difficult. If I do, because it's inside. Oh, we can show you. Okay, I can show you. Okay, let me show you how to do it. Okay. I will do horizontally. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm going to do. Okay. Guys, take a look at it here. This T is kind of like almost till the left side, just a little bit of gap, right? That's the browse give. Okay. Now I will do a margin left. See here have some space, but now take a look at this span. Do I have 50 pixels here? No, that is this one talking about. So style can get inherited, but not all the properties will get inherited. This is because I want to have a margin left on the div. That means I want to also have a margin left on the span. That's why not all the properties will inherit. Some will, not all of them. Especially on the margin and padding, we'll talk about tomorrow. They are not inherited. Okay, like a basic like font size, those were inherited. Any question you guys on inheriting? Okay. Okay, that's your question. Okay, I forgot his name. Okay, Jeremy, it's a question. Style at conflicts. Which one going to win? Okay, and for this example, you will see another selector called a group selector. Group selector are separated by what? Comma. Now let me show you. Okay. Make mute yourself. Okay. Mute. Okay. Thank you. Now I will do here. We have a div. Okay. Then this is a div. Then I will have a paragraph. Paragraph. Then I will have a H1. A CS472. Okay. WAP. Okay. This one. Suppose what is a group? If you want to apply the styles for all div paragraph H1, one way you can do is what? I want to have a same style for div paragraph H1. How to do it? You can use body, but here let's say I have a span. I don't want to be in the span. If I put it in the body, span also will get it, right? But I only for div paragraph and H1. Use a class, right? You can use a class to style. Another way you can do is you can, for this example, you can use paragraph H1. This is called a group selector, which it means separated by comma, which all the div, all the paragraph, all the H1 on the page. You're gonna have the same style. You put it here. This is another one. Then you will see all of them gonna not this one. gonna have same color, right? Red, red, red. This font size because I use H1, okay. And this is this one talking about the color. But now, can you see this one become pink? Okay, so in this case, for this rule and this rule, they all target on this paragraph, right? And they all have a color, you understand me? So which color should I win? Okay, here is a rule. The first rule is, okay, this is the first rule, okay. We will have a slide. The first rule, if they are all same type of selector, same type of class selector, div selector, class selector, HTML selector, or ID selector, then the later one wins. Later one, yeah, which one is later? Based on the source code. This one places later than this one, right? So later one wins. Got me? If I switch the order, then you will see this one gonna win. Okay. You get this one? Now, next one. I will show you one use class. Okay, suppose here I have a class, which is special and shout. That's what we had. I forgot his name, her name. Okay, sorry. So suppose I have a special. This is one, right? Then I will have a background color, which is blue. Then I will have a shout, background color, which is yellow. Then those two are the same type, right? Those two are same type. Okay, here the rule is which one wins. The later on means the same type. Okay, same type. Then you will see the yellow wins because they are same type, which is the class. Now, do I have ones? Do I have? Okay. Let's stop here. We'll have rules explain later. Okay. So this is the same type. If a different type, we'll cover later. Okay. Later. Okay. So far, if for the same type, okay, then the later one will wins. Later on is based on the source code because when the browser applies style, it will based on the source code to apply one by one. So it's gonna later on will override. Okay.
Here, the color doesn't depend on the order that appear in the HTML tag or the order appeared in the CSS file.
It is. See here, this is a red, and I have a color.
No, I'm talking about the class names.
Not based on this one. It's based on
the order in the
yes, exactly. Based on this one. Suppose that's a good question. Not based on what the order here. Based on you applied here. Okay. You have blue here. Okay, very good. Based on the CSS rules. Okay, not based on here. No. Good. Okay. That's a good one. So far that's the rules. Okay, we will talk about more rules. Okay. This is one like a P1. I have used H2. So cascading style sheets. It's called cascading style sheet because the properties of an element cascade together in the order. So by default, how browser applies styles? The browser first will give a default styles. Like a paragraph will have some padding margin, and then it will use the styles in the link, which is the one we did at the first one. Then it will use the internal style sheet, which is the one we have here. Okay. Then it will apply for the inline style. Let me show you this one for you. Okay. Let me show you using a So here I will have index.html and I will have index.css. What's gonna happen? We will just use a very simple div to show you guys. Okay, div. Okay, this is a div. Because div, the browser didn't give a default style, which is gonna the color gonna be default black. Okay, background color default is white, and the font size default as the body. Okay, I don't know how much. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is after the browser apply this one, it will using the linked one. So here I will use the linked one. Okay, linked href. We'll use index CSS and type text CSS rel equals style sheet. Okay. Okay, now I will just do a very simple one. A div color red. Okay. Now when I open index.html, we'll see a color red, right? Now if here style if color, which is pink. See a pink. Let me switch the order, okay? I switch the order, okay? When you switch order, it's gonna apply because the browser gonna apply this one first, apply this one, okay? So, and we do have last one. This one doesn't matter. Color is blue. This one will always win. Okay, doesn't matter the order of with these two. You got me? This one called inline style always wins. Okay. So that's cascading. Okay. Overriding rules. Take a look at here. This one has another example. Okay. Let's take a look at this one. I will still use style conflict. Let me copy. Style conflict to HTML. Right. I'm going to do like this way, okay? ID, let's go to man. I just run out of the name, okay? I just put a style here, okay? So you guys don't need to go to another file. So what's gonna happen is I do like this way, guys. Color red. Color blue. In previous example, we mentioned if they are same type, the later one gonna wins, right? But now we have two different one. When we do main, it will target those for those paragraph, right? When we use special, it will also target to this paragraph. And now we have the same property applied. Which one gonna win? And in this case, we will see, even though the order main goes first, which is ID select goes first, and this is class selector, right? The ID selector will win this time. And this is another rule. Which one? Oh, do you see this one color is red, right? It's not blue. This one will be applied first, and this one will be applied second, right? But in this case, color blue didn't override the color red. And this is another rule because here, specificity. How browser decide which one should win when two or more rules conflict. You may have more, okay? Rules is each rule's overall selector is given a score based on approximately the following rules, just a general guideline, okay? The rules with the highest score wins if there's a conflict. Any HTML element mentioned in the rule, you can say score 1 point. Any class mentioned in the rule, you can say score 10 point. Any ID mentioned in a rule scores 100%, 100 point, okay? So here, this is another rule. Can you see here, P is what thing? HTML, right? And dot banner is what? class selector, right? So it's 11 points. Got me? And take a look at this one. Div is what? Is a HTML. Dot box is a class. And this P is 1, so it's gonna have 12. And the same thing you calculate for this one, because I have a logo is 100. I have a 2 class 20. I have a 1 P, 1 body, 1 to 2. Okay. So in our example, I'll give a difficult one later. Okay. This one is 100. This one is 10. That's why it wins. You got it? Do you get it? So now I give you another one. Okay. Oh, I'll show you a difference. Okay. Another difference. Okay. Guys, take a look at these two carefully, okay? What's the thing? Yellow. Do you see the difference between them? Here I have a space, right? When I have space, it means what? Any child, any HTML element with a class special. Target any element with class special under the main, right? Any element with ID main. You understand me? But this one I'm talking about, you have an element. It has ID main and also it has a class special. Got it? Got it defined? Okay, let me show you here. Okay. Ha ha ha. Okay. So what's gonna happen? This one will target to here. Because this haha is inside here, so it's going to target here too. But for this one, it will only target to here. Let me add the background color here. Let's see the difference between them, okay? So here you will see both of them will have a color brown, but only the yellow will add on this one, okay? Do you see? Why is the this one, that's another rule. First we see, let me remove these two. Okay. Can you see both of them are what's thing? Brown, right? But the background color is applied on haha, right? The reason is why. The reason is because this one will target any HTML element. It has ID main and also has a class special. So this one will be targeted, right? And the reason why ha has brown is because inherit. You got me? It will inherit from this paragraph, got it? And the reason why paragraph A doesn't have yellow. Does it have yellow? No. Why? Because this one, when we have space, it means children, right? Yes, paragraph A is a children of man. Is this one a children of the man special man? No, only this span is the children of this man, right? That's why paragraph A didn't have yellow. You got it? Got me?
But paragraph A has two classes, special and child. So
you can use only one. Yeah, yes. No. This special is applied on the paragraph. This shout is also applied on the paragraph. Just this shout, it didn't use it. It doesn't matter. You can give some class. You do not have styles on it.
No, I'm saying, but paragraph A is also, because it's special and special, the child of main, should it also be yellow? No.
This paragraph is not a child of P. This paragraph is inside the P. Okay. This one means you have to have another element which is a child of man.
Which is special, right?
It might be special, but in this case, we don't consider paragraph A is a class or is a child of special. It is inside the special. Because see here, is paragraph A wrapped as another thing? No. You got it? Okay. But this one we consider is a child of this man. Okay.
And it's that space which describes
Yes.
the child.
Yes.
So if we had, if span class also had a special and shout, it would still be a child of the main.
Yeah, doesn't matter. You can have ABC, E, F, D. Doesn't matter.
It would still be a child of the main. The
Yeah.
Special.
If I don't have, then not applied. Okay. Okay, this one. Okay. Now take a look at this one. Guys, take a look at this one. Here has two. Okay. So first, we talk about it. When we don't have these two. Because let me remove this one first. Okay. We will see here have paragraph A, which is red, right? Now I will have this one. When I do like this one, what's the color of this paragraph A? When I have these three, which one gonna be the color of A? Brown, right? We just mentioned the what's thing? This one is 100. This one is 10. This one is how many? 111. Oh, sorry, 110. So 110 gonna win over this one, even though I switch the order. Because this one is more specific, right? See here. Gonna have a brown, got me? Because this one, using our rule, this one is a one ID, one class, so it's gonna become 110, right? And this one is 100, you got me? So 110 wins, you got it. Okay. And when I add this one, where we have background color. No child, right? No child, no background color, okay? See here. No child, okay? Whenever you see a space, that means child, okay? Now, let's see another one. One more, last one, okay? Yo, wait a minute for a second. Oh, here. Take a look at it. Tell me the color of this one. Yeah, no, color, not the background color.
Brown.
Okay, brown. Okay, the color is surprise. Blue. This is the last rule. Take a look at. Let's see. Okay, first, this is the last rule. Okay, guys. This is the most difficult rule. This is 110, right? We think, and this is 100, and this one is what's it? 10. Okay, this one is 100, but we can ignore this one because this one, the background color doesn't have conflict with all others. So what happened? I will draw in the OneNote to explain to you guys. Okay. We can get rid of this these two because they are not affected by this one. We only care about these three, right? Okay. So then we have a style. Okay. Now, how the browser do? Browser. Okay. Let me give you a style. We're gonna have on the page by default, the browser will give default style. So this is my browser. browser give default style, which is paragraph A. And here is a ha ha ha. It should be one line, okay? Be ha ha, like this, right? Then here at the beginning, color. The browser will give black, right? And then what's gonna happen? Okay, he will apply style. This one is man. Let me make it larger so you guys can see clear. Here, okay, man dot special. This one I'm talking about. We are looking for a ID man. It also have a what's thing class special. So here I have ID man. Also have a class special, right? So here paragraph A. This is paragraph A. Okay. This is a ha ha ha. You got me? Let me make it clear. I'll do a table. This is the color. 3. This is the color. This is paragraph A. This is a ha ha ha. Okay. At the beginning, all are black, right? Black and black. Okay. Now they apply man special. Oh, I have man. I have a special here, right? So paragraph A is a directed target. So it's gonna change this one to be what thing? Brown. Okay. And ha 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 will get brown by what? Which reason? Inherit. Because it's a child of paragraph, right? So this black brown will become what? Inherit. I'll make a comment here. Okay. This one is inherit. Inherit, right? Inherit this brown, right? Got me? Now, because this is a child of paragraph, right? So now let's go to next one. Next one, it will go to the man. Man, okay, man targeted this paragraph. It have color red, but okay, I have 110 here. This one is a 100, right? So even though it's a letter, but you didn't win me because I have more weight on that. So it doesn't do anything. Now I got this one. That's a decide, okay? So class will define a group. Here I have a class. Here I have a class. Here I also have a class special, right? Now the first one, this one paragraph A is directly targeted by the special, right? So here, do I need to change it to be blue because it's blue? But I see it's a 10. 10 cannot over what's thing? 100, right? Because see here, this special add a man here. So it's still brown, no change. Now let's take a look at it, but ha ha ha. Ha ha, how you get the brown? I inherited, right? But now special is directly targeted on what? Ha ha. So if suppose I have something I want to inherit from my parent, got it? Even though I have only 10 here, but this is directly targeted to me. Then I don't use the inherit one. That's the weirdest. That's the thing you have to be careful. This is because brown is inherited, but now special is directly targeted on me. So I will use what's thing? Blue here. You got it? That's the last rule. Even though sometimes you take on the weight, but you have to make sure it's directly target or it's inherit. It's like when we have inheritance, and if a child has its own method, we want to inherit from parent. We use my own, right? The same thing applied here. This is the last rule, and the rule you have to be careful, okay? Because others you can just using the weight to decide. Only this one you have to make sure it's a direct target or inherit. Any other question you guys have? Oh, we are late. Let's see. Okay. We can. This one already mentioned. Do you want to finish? Let's stop here because this one I want you guys to practice first. I want to give you some time to take a look at this one first. Okay, then we cannot finish early. Okay. So let's have a break here, and then afternoon we have several slides left. Okay, then you do your homework. Okay, so now let me. Where's the battery?